Hello and welcome to A Cup of Joe. I am Joseph, and this is my cup. Happy Labor Day. It is indeed a holiday today. Holidays are wonderful. Speaking of my cup, this was given to me by Death Wish Coffee. Awesome folks. They're doing some exciting stuff over there. And they make some delightful mugs as well. This thing is like really heavy duty. Fits with their brand, I think. Pretty heavy duty mugs. Feels like something that I want to slosh ale around in. So I have in here is a coffee I made on a French press. I actually just recorded a video on a little special French press method I think you're going to enjoy. That'll be coming out later this week. And so this is the coffee that I brewed in there. Quite juicy and fruity. It's a special secret blend of coffees, mostly from Ethiopia. It's really interesting. I don't think most people know what goes into the work that I do. So I publish Coffee Lovers Magazine, as you know. And there's a lot of work that goes into publishing a magazine. I do a lot of writing. I do a lot of writing throughout the week, and that includes writing for the magazine, includes writing for the website, it includes writing to make shows, and of course recording the shows. So I just recorded the French press one, and I'll be recording probably another little show after this one. I'm going to get a little conceptual on that one and talk about why coffee, why coffee is an acquired taste. I'll get into it on that show. It's really interesting the way the coffee comes out in this French press method. It's got like sort of crisp, juicy, fruity qualities that I might get in a Chemex, but with a lot more body and richness going on. It's different. It's very different. I'm not sure this was the right coffee for that, but I was curious to see how the fruit would come out. So we also relaunched the podcast this week. Jesse over at Conduit Coffee and I have been doing the podcast, the Coffee Lovers Radio podcast, for I guess about 2 years now. We kind of started it 2 years ago. It was just a fun way to sit around and talk about coffee. We're kind of doing that anyways, and we just thought, why not make a podcast out of it? Which, not the best way to start a podcast, I guess. But, I mean, we were talking about some really interesting things about coffee, and we thought it'd be really helpful. People certainly have enjoyed the show. We just, because of our sort of, let's just do it, kind of was a good way to get started. And then we didn't have the structure and planning necessary to make it regular the way it needed to be. We were pretty regular at the beginning, and then it kind of tapered off as work and everything kind of took over. The process of producing the podcast became I think too much of a challenge at the time. We have a really good content plan this time around. We've already recorded 4 shows, and I have another 40 that I've written out. So I think we'll be good for quite a while. Another one of the reasons for restarting the podcast, aside from, I mean, we really enjoy producing it, and I know that we do have listeners who really enjoy the show, because we hear from them. So this winter we have CoffeeCon coming to Seattle. Still don't have official details on that. Like I said, I'll keep you updated. We had a meeting for that this week, and it was really awesome. I think we had, let me think here. I don't know. We had at least a dozen people at the meeting. A few people who this is the second meeting we've had in organizing this, and several people who hadn't been to the first, and there's just a lot of excitement. It's a lot of excitement. So CoffeeCon is a consumer coffee convention. Think like Comic-Con, but for coffee. It's just gonna be a lot of local roasters and cafes and coffee businesses in the area showing off their stuff, and people around here are gonna be able to come by and just try all the coffee under the rainbow, basically. It's gonna be really awesome. So we have a lot of excitement going on with that right now. My plan with the podcast and with this show as well is to do some showcasing of that show that's going to come up, of some of the stuff that you're going to be able to see at the show if you're able to attend. If you're not, then I hope to give you a sneak peek, but more on that later. Don't need to get into that just yet. So one of the things I really like to do in connecting with folks like you is a lot of email writing. I like to communicate by email because it's just a really good way to be like personable. I do have personal conversations with a lot of people by email about coffee and things of that nature, about the magazine, about the shows, that sort of thing. And so I actually spend a lot of my time writing emails. It's been a fantastic way to just kind of share the stories of my experiences. If you're a subscriber to the magazine and you're on the email newsletter for the magazine, every time I publish a new issue, you'll get a little short series of emails that lately I've been sharing my personal stories as it kind of relates to the main subject of the issue. This past, the current issue right now is all about discovering your perfect brew method. I made a little, I think I talked about this last week, but I made a little choose your own adventure story. But just go to coffeeloversmag.com and you can check it out there, or coffeeloversmagazine.com will take you there as well. But so the email story I wrote was about when I discovered the craft of coffee. One of my first experiences with the actual craft of it, and I think that was cool. I always get people responding with their own little personal stories as well. It's kind of just like having, it's kind of like having a cup of coffee just at a cafe with a bunch of friends, and that's all really cool. This mug is huge. Really well built, though. Actually, I kind of want to have like, I want to make like a mocha in this. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Okay, I'm going to make, I'm going to do a series of videos. I think I decided this before, but I just remembered. I'm going to do a series of videos where I make like a pumpkin spice latte, a mocha, maybe like a peppermint mocha or something like that. I'm going to make all these with real ingredients. It's like not using syrups, but using actual ingredients and really good coffee so that you can still taste the really good coffee, but you also get the deliciousness of the other elements. Like, that's totally possible to do. I used to be a huge fan of the pumpkin spice latte. I was always looking forward to that in the fall. And the last time I had one, I got it. I was like, this is cool. I haven't done this in a while. I'm going to try it. And I took a sip, and it was so sweet. So sweet. All I could taste was sugar. I think my just drinking of regular coffee with nothing in it has kind of just altered my perception, and now like really sweet things are like too sweet. But that doesn't mean that I can't enjoy a pumpkin spice latte. I think I just need to make it with real ingredients. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make a video, and it's gonna be great. I don't know when that'll happen. Soonish, since it's now apparently pumpkin spice latte season. All right, I'm getting towards the end of this, and I could ramble on forever and ever. Let me ask you this though: is there any kind of question you might have about coffee, whatever it is, simple or complex? Just let me know in the comments, just down below. This on YouTube in the YouTube comments. Or if I put it on the website comments, or on Facebook, what have you. Just let me know, and maybe I'll be able to answer that on the next show, or do a new video about it, or whatever. But I'd like to hear what's on your mind, and we can talk coffee over coffee. This has been A Cup of Joe. This has been My Cup. I'm Joseph. And I hope your coffee this week is magnificent.